Hi, this is Charles Hoskinson broadcasting live from warm, sunny Colorado. Always warm, always sunny, sometimes Colorado. Today is October 30th, 2025. It's one of those days, and I figured I'd make a video. Just talked about what the mission is, the vision is, where we're going, what we're doing as an industry. You see, there's Solana versus Ethereum versus Cardano versus Bitcoin. And we get so competitive at times that we sometimes miss the broader picture, why we're here, what we're doing, and that our best days are ahead of us. You see, the thing is that this industry is about rewriting the rules for the economic, political, and social systems of society. I've always believed that. I've always felt that in my bones, in my heart. And we have a lot of ups and downs. I remember when Bitcoin was $1 and it went up to $30. And everybody said, the vision is here, the mission is here, everything's going well, it's incredible. Oh my Lord, Bitcoin is taking off. This is the best thing ever to happen. And then it collapsed down to $4. And everybody said, oh no, what do we do? What do we do? Oh no. And then it went all of a sudden up to $250. And then we say, oh my Lord, it's here. The mission's here, the vision's here, everything's okay. We're doing good. Then it went down to $80. And we said, oh, it's over. Doom and gloom. Doom and gloom. Then up to $1,200. We said, oh, it's finally here. The dream has come. Crypto's taking over the world. Everybody's okay. It's good. Getting over a cold. And then go up to $20,000. Oh my God. Our time has come. Crypto has finally taken over the world. That was 2017. And then it collapsed down to 4,000. Doom and gloom. Doom and gloom. Oh no. Doom and gloom. Then all the way up to 68,000. 2021. You guys remember that year? Oh my Lord. It was a crazy year. Everybody was in crypto. Everybody was talking about crypto. Every person driving around, the taxi driver, have you heard of crypto? I'm buying this coin, I'm buying that coin. And then it collapses. Crypto's over, Luna FTX. The whole thing is dead. The whole thing is dead. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Oh no. And then all of a sudden, it went all the way up to over $100,000. Worst bull market of all time. It's terrible. It's terrible. What do we do? What does this mean? Guys, all you care about is the price. It's the price. Price goes up, price goes down. And it will go up over time because it's a deflationary asset. And for the most of the assets in the ecosystem, like ADA or Bitcoin, they have these characteristics. And they're proportional in the long term to the people using them and what they use it for. But why are we here? Where does the durability come from over the last 15 years? Why does it keep growing no matter what's going on in the macro? Look at the world around us and ask a very fundamental series of questions. Is the world around us healthy? Most fundamental question of all. Do you think that everything is going well right now? Do you think the world is going well? Do you think everybody's happy? Do you think that everybody trusts each other? Do you think everybody believes, generally speaking, that tomorrow will be a better day than today? Do you think that your job is secure? Do you think the economy is healthy? Do you think the money in your pocket is actually going to be worth something in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? Do you feel safe? Do you feel listened to? Do you feel valued? This is basic questions, right? Basic stuff. Has nothing to do with crypto. These are just foundational things that exist. And if the answers are no, if the answers are it depends, if the answers are I'm uncertain and I'm scared, what that's telling you is that the institutions, the way we govern things, the way the markets work, the way the economy works, it's not working for you. Why crypto exists is it starts a conversation about how do we do things differently? How do we change the world in a way where we can answer that question? Yes, I feel safe. Yes, I feel like my money will be valuable. Yes, I feel like tomorrow will be a better day than today. That's the whole reason this industry exists. That's the whole reason we labor and build what we build. And we get caught into these self-destructive cyclones where we lose perspective and we get depressed and we say, "Oh no, it's all gone." There was a time when ADA was 3 cents. I remember that day, down from $1.28. And it's okay. Goes up, it goes down. We fall, the rest of the market falls, all the things fall. In the short term, it's a tragedy. In the long term, it's really about asking, are we making progress? The question is, do we have a path for nation states to run cryptocurrencies? The answer is yes. Javier Milei just got reelected. His whole political party got a big election down in Argentina. There is a better than 50% chance that by 2030, half of all the value in the economy of Argentina will be in cryptocurrencies. And there's a better than 50% chance that the majority of their government will run on a blockchain, from their voting systems to their identity systems to their supply chain systems to their money by 2030. It's a 40 million person country. And that's just one of many which have equivalent chances. Has blockchain reached mainstream? Has crypto reached mainstream? Absolutely. A half billion people hold half a billion people. Think about that. That's more than the entire population of the world in the 18th century. Hold that. And it's growing by leaps and bounds. And we're looking at potentially a billion people within the next 3 to 5 years. That's an extraordinary thing. So we're doubling in terms of the people that hold it. We have nation states adopting it. Where are we at in terms of the capabilities of these things? When I entered the space, it was just Bitcoin, guys. And all we were talking about is Bitcoin versus a different flavor of Bitcoin. Litecoin, Feathercoin. It's the same code, same capability. You can push tokens around. That's pretty much it. They were toys. Now you got the zero knowledge revolution. Now you got the DeFi revolution. Now you got all these amazing technologies that work their way through. Literally every day, billions of dollars of tokens are traded on DEXs. Every single day, billions of dollars of loans are given. Every single day, artists are able to issue NFTs and meme coins and all kinds of creative assets. New forms of intellectual property are created. New types of video games are created. Every single day, we have a $1 trillion+ economy that's self-evolving, self-growing. That's where we're at, October 30th, 2025. And it has no signs of slowing down. It has no signs where people say, you know what? Let's just go back to the old days. Because what are we looking forward to in the old days? Fiat monies that print and print and print and print, endless wars, hate, destruction, chaos, nobody trusting each other, property rights that don't matter, no rule of law. What are we looking forward to in the old economy? When do we wake up? What do we care about in that? Have you become so cynical and you become so hopeless that you believe that you deserve that? When you're in crypto and you really believe that this is the future, what you're saying is you deserve a better future. You deserve to be your own bank. You deserve to own your own identity. You deserve to have the final say on where your money goes and how your money works. You deserve your money to get more valuable over time, not less valuable because some bureaucrat steals the value from you to pay themselves. You deserve transparency, auditability, immutability. You deserve an objective reality that people can't go and change that reality. That's what you say when you're in the cryptocurrency space. And then what everybody does is they convince you that we're failing because we have a bad day in the markets. There's always going to be a bad day for somebody in the market. Markets have winners and losers by their design. But there's always a good day in crypto when we look at the macro. And the macro is every day we get more adoption, better technology, more capabilities, more provability, less trust, more resilience, more decentralization. Now, there's a lot of false prophets out there. You have chains that are being built by centralized actors with an attempt to co opt and take over the industry. And we have to make some hard decisions as an industry of whether we embrace them or they embrace us. Asset backed stablecoins are not cryptocurrencies. They take advantage of cryptocurrency infrastructure, and they're a very nice asset to have. But at the end of the day, their value comes from and their operation comes from the promises and commitments of centralized companies. And we should never conflate or confuse them for the ethos that we came from. Real crypto will never die, and real crypto cannot be bought. You can trade tokens, you can own the tokens, but it's the protocols themselves and the ethos that behind them and the immutable characteristics of a love of freedom and liberty that truly matters. I've been here from the very beginning, guys. I've watched it go up, I've watched it go down, I've watched every crisis in between, and I recently took some time off. I was down in Switzerland and just walking around, saw the beautiful mountains out there after finishing up in Milan, and it gave me a moment to reflect upon the things I care about, what my life is about, what I wanna do. Do I wanna just retire, go be a rancher? Do I wanna go do something else? And I realized, I'm happiest when I'm here with all of you building this future, thinking about the economic, political, and social systems of the world, and being in the revolution. There's not many of us left from the early days. They got picked off. They retired. They got tired of the chaos. But of the few that are still here, we carry that torch with us. And it's exactly the same today in 2025 as it was in 2015, as it was in 2010. It's exactly the same. We're here for you. We're here for us. We're here for humanity. This is not about money. This is about the future of how humans live. When we look at 2050 and we say, what does the world look like? I want to live in a world where the backbone of every nation state, every company, and every economic transaction is a blockchain that preserves and protects your rights as a person. I want to live in a world where human rights are not don't be evil, but are can't be evil. I want to live in a world where you own your own identity. You are your own bank. A world of consent instead of a giant panopticon that takes it all from you. I've lost complete faith and trust in the existing institutions that we have. And while we will work with them from time to time, including the legacy institutions, I never want to be a guest in their home. I want them to be guests in our home. And I want for our home to be the only home in the long term. Everyone has to play by the same rules, and everyone should be constrained by a basic social contract that we're all equal, and no one, government or otherwise, gets to violate those rules for their own benefit. To me, crypto is the only thing that matters because it's deciding basically how we're going to live in a world that is permeated with AI, fiat monies that are collapsing, great powers at war with each other, in a global society where every single person is just floating around doing stuff. Our markets are 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and everything is becoming digital. The next 25 years, because of augmented reality and the glasses and the contact lenses, every single thing in the physical world will have a digital twin, a digital analogy. When you're walking around outside and you look at the pizzeria, your glasses will show you the ratings, the hours, the friends that have gone there, the menu. Your physical world will become a digital world. So, what's the regulating layer from that? How do you know that the things that you see in this augmented world are real, are not adulterated? How do you know that when the AI tells you something, it's actually not influenced or controlled by the few to the detriment of the many? What's your control layer to make sure that we live in a just society when everything becomes digital? The only option is the technology of this industry. That's it. And if anybody tells you otherwise, they're either ignorant or bot or both. We've lived too long with carnival barkers running around. And I've seen it all across the political spectrum and all across the economic spectrum. And we've lived too long with cynicism. So on days like these, where we see the markets, the macro and the micro not looking so good and people start losing hope, you need to pick up a shovel and realize that nobody's going to save us but ourselves. And crypto has always been and always will be the solution and the answer. We are the ones, this industry, that is going to decide how humans are going to live in 2050, what rights they have and what rights they don't have. We're the ones, either by the fact that we recuse ourselves and hand it off to a small group of people to decide on behalf of everyone, or we get involved and we force it upon the governments of the world. We've won a lot of victories, and we've done things that I thought were impossible. We got the United States of America to go from an adversary to an ally. We built technology that truly can scale to the needs of billions of people. We've performed many miracles of computer science to get these systems where they need to go. Tokenized trillions of dollars of assets. And that's just the beginning. Think about how powerful we can be if we don't lose the faith and we keep pushing forward. And think about how powerful we can be if we're the ones who don't panic. Instead, we stay calm in the face of the storm. Nothing is going to get easier from here on out for anyone in any context because the world is changing just like it did last century. As a direct consequence of the Industrial Revolution and instantaneous communication and new transportation infrastructure, the whole world went from a change. It went from agrarian monarchical societies that were mostly ruled by kings to a war between communism and fascism and democracy, which reached its apex during World War II and a profound social change. And then two great systems fighting each other, communism versus freedom. And now in the 21st century, because of technological progress, we are going to face similar challenges. Economies are going to collapse. America's coming in to some really hard times. And there's a non-zero probability that we're entering into a Great Depression. There's a non-zero probability that before the close of this decade, we will be at war with the nation of China. There's a non-zero probability that we may no longer have a democracy in the next 10 years or 20 years, with the way that things are going politically. These are facts. You can take crypto out of the equation. These are the challenges that are before us. And at some point, we're going to have to pick up the pieces and we're going to have to clean up the mess after we resolve these crises. And we have to ask if we got a chance to redo how the US dollar works. Do we just want to build it the exact same way with the exact same Federal Reserve, with the exact same oversight, governance, and management, the exact same institutionalism that is exclusive and cooperate and you can co-opt? Or do we want to build it different? The same for our political systems, how we vote, how we express ourselves, how our viewpoints get propagated. Same for our social systems, how we organize and who we give power to, who we listen to. How does information flow, the epistemic hygiene of society as a whole? When we look at these things, we have to make decisions. We don't get to choose the crises of our time. We inherit them as emergent properties from the millions of decisions made by the people who came before us. The prior generations, for better or worse, have inflicted this world upon us. What we get to choose is how we deal with those problems and how we clean up the mess that those problems create. All of you have these tools now. Tools to create objective reality, tools to promote honesty, and tools to build fair economies for every single person in the world. We must never forget that, diminish that, or think because a token price has gone down or a market's in the red that somehow we've lost. That cynicism has no place in a revolution that wants to restore agency to the people. I've seen worse times than this, and we'll see worse times ahead. But never once have I wavered my belief in you, and never once have I fell apart and said people can't do these things. There's no greater example of that than Cardano and its governance system. In a time of a year, we transitioned from a federated governance system to a completely open and decentralized governance system. And everybody said, oh no, you can't do that. You're trusting all these people across the entire world to just simply take over. Won't that result in anarchy and chaos? And won't all these people just blow it all up and destroy all the value? If you believe that people are stupid, if you're cynical and you think that humans can't manage themselves, and you have a very negative view of humanity, then perhaps that's true. But I've always had an optimistic, non cynical view. I've always believed that if you trust people and you actually give them real power and real agency and autonomy, and you respect them as people, you empower them, they'll rise up to the occasion and they'll find a path forward. It won't always be pretty. They won't always make the right decision. They're not perfect. We're humans. We fail. We make mistakes. But that's part of being human. Picking yourself up, having the courage to be wrong and still show up the next day and try to keep pushing forward. And we did that as an ecosystem. We learned all these hard lessons and we keep showing up. We keep fighting hard. And that can serve as an example to so many others. There's no reason we can't rebuild the governments of the world. There's no reason we can't rebuild the economies of the world. And there's no reason we can't call truth to power. It's been a difficult year for me. It really has been because it's been a year of compromise. There's many things that I've seen the US government do that I have questioned the judgment of, especially this year. Many policies, many actions, many behaviors of leaders. I've tried to stay silent about it and I've tried to reason my way around it, but sometimes you got to call a spade a spade. Certain people shouldn't have issued currencies, certain people shouldn't have done what they did, but they did. It does not end my revolution. It doesn't end your revolution. It doesn't end our revolution, the crypto space. But what it does do is conflates things and it makes it a little bit more difficult to understand why we do what we do. But no one person, no one political movement, no one nation has dominion over who we are as an industry. We are the future of humanity. That's why we're so strong. That's why we've gone from nothing to trillions of dollars of value, hundreds of millions of people, and so much competition, so much technology. In 15 years, the fastest growing movement. People can try to come in and co opt it. False prophets can show up. People can try to politicize it. People can try to encapsulate it into some political spectrum. But crypto transcends all of that. It always will. And we can never forget that as an industry, even if it feels lonely, and even if we get mocked by those in power or those in the media, by friends, family. At the end of the day, history will vindicate us and thank us. And our labors aren't just for ourselves, they're for those who come after us. The sacrifices we make, the challenges we endure, this is about humanity as a whole and the world we want to live in, the economic, political, and social systems we want to have. That is why we fight. And that is why I believe we have better days ahead of us. The work is not over. There's a long road. There's many things to do. There's many protocols to build. We're tackling the privacy side now. We're tackling the selective disclosure side now. There'll be another house of technologies 5 years from now or 10 years from now. It's an endless river, but it's a meaningful river. And every step of the way, we learn something, we gain something. We have to make some sacrifices. We lose a few people, we gain a few people. While the faces change, the philosophy doesn't. It's the philosophy of liberty and freedom at its core. It's about the only thing we really do have. So hang in there. Grab a shovel and keep working, keep pushing forward, keep pushing hard. I love all of you. I believe in all of you, and I don't care where you come from, what ecosystem you're part of. As long as you're part of the cryptocurrency movement, as long as you're part of the blockchain movement, and as long as you believe that everybody's truly equal and everybody deserves equal access to these systems and everybody should have them, whether it be on their phone, their computer, or anywhere in between. That's all that really matters. You matter. This revolution matters. And for 15 years, every year, it's gotten better. Even though it's gotten harder, it's gotten better because it continues to wow me and it continues to wow you. 5 years' time, nation states will run on this. In 5 years' time, the economy of crypto will be larger than most of the economies of most of the nations on the planet. And in 5 years' time, crypto will be so much more evolved than the legacy systems that it will serve as the ultimate embarrassment and counterexample to their corruption and their insanity. It's the last great harbor of an objective reality of great institutions and the democracy that we so desperately need as a society, and the last great harbor of human rights. That's why we fight. That's why we're here. And that's why I'm here. And every now and then, I need to just come up here and rant for a little bit, make a video, fire people up, and get them to realize you're part of something. You're not part of a price. You're not part of a token. You're part of a broader global community that's here to save humanity from itself. You're part of the future. You're part of making the world a better place. You're part of the solution to the big problems of our time. You are the revolutionaries and always will be the revolutionaries to deliver us to a better world. Never forget that. Never let anybody talk you out of that. This is crypto. And that's why I'm still here. That's why we're still passionate. We got midnight coming out. Cardano's here. We're fully decentralized. We got a great government. We got many more things coming. That's just in our ecosystem. Kudos to the Solana ecosystem. They got a lot of great things coming. Kudos to the Avalanche ecosystem. They got a lot of great things coming. Kudos to Bitcoin. They always have good stuff coming. Kudos to Vitalik and Ethereum. They got some great things coming too. Kudos to all of them. A lot of people wake up every single day and they work hard. Keep it going, keeping the faith, keeping it getting done. More than 20,000 ecosystems, living and dead. Lots of adherents, lots of things, lots of software. And we're just getting started. This industry is so powerful, especially when it's united. No one can stop us. It's larger than the population in the entire United States, 4 times that of Russia, half that of China. Think about that. And that's where we're at today in 2025. Imagine where we'll be in 2030, 2035, 2040. The majority of the world will use this technology and be constrained by the values and principles and of the objectivity of it. One system where everyone has equal access, equal opportunity, equal ability to rise up and thrive. Never in the history of humanity have we ever had that opportunity. Never once. That is what we're building here. That's why we fight. That's why this matters. That's why we're still passionate. That's why we're still here. And that's why we don't let these little blips from time to time bother us, these little slides in the market, They're entirely forgettable. In 3 weeks, we won't even think about it. The macro can get bad. Who cares? We'll win in the end. So keep the faith, everybody. Thank you much, and God bless.